of Life by You. Welcome, welcome.
Welcome. Hi.
I was
Hey,
just,
everybody.
hey, I was just telling Jennifer that so many of our topics are heavy.
Heavy, heavy. They are. They could go on for hours of conversation.
They
But,
are. They
but I
are.
really feel like our topics are so needed right now.
I agree. I agree. So today, I think is a really necessary one, which is all about boundaries.
Ooh,
Boundaries. Mm, mm, mm,
I'm
mm.
working on it. I'm working on boundaries for myself.
I find that funny because you see, I feel like you're very deliberate with what you say.
I
You know what
am.
I mean? And so I feel like you would probably have some pretty strong boundaries.
I think in some areas I do, and in others I do not.
Really? Can you indulge us? Can you share?
Well, I guess like with my family members, my boundaries are a little bit blurry. Yeah, I'm not so
Hmm.
strict, right? Business,
Mm,
boundaries, strict, not wavering.
hmm.
Friends, I'm in between. Like, I
Mm.
feel like I have some really good boundaries, but then sometimes I'm like, oof, yeah, I should have said no.
Probably depends on the friend, right?
Yeah, definitely depends on the
Yeah.
friend, but yeah, I'm working
Yeah.
on it. I think we're all a work in progress. I think my boundary setting is better than a lot of people's, but I do have
Hmm.
areas that I need to work on. Absolutely.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Ditto. I think I'm very similar. I think
Mhm.
so. Business wise, I'm still working on. Actually, I'm just working on boundaries in all arenas. So business wise, I'm still working on a lot of boundaries. I think I've
Right.
gotten better. I know I'm not going to say yes to everything.
Yeah.
But there was a point in time where I would say yes to things that perhaps were misaligned
Mhm.
because I felt like I might miss out on a greater opportunity. Does that make
Oh,
sense?
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Or we've talked about this in the past. I get caught up in the moment, like feeling it, like feeling
Yes.
their
You get
energy.
excited.
I get excited.
I'm the same way.
So yeah, I'll get caught up in the moment, and then when I get out of that moment and I calm down, and now I'm in my own energy, I'm like, oh, I don't really want to do
I don't want to do that anymore.
that.
Ding
so
dong.
so while we talked about our human design, which by the way we need to talk about your human design at some point. I know we got to do that.
It was
Need to
so
put that
much
on the list.
information.
Oh my god, I need to know. Um, but um Yeah, I think ultimately I'm good about not saying yes to everything. When it comes to family,
Girl.
I that's hard. It's really really hard. And I'm working on it, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's very difficult. I exercised some last week, for instance. I said no to some things, and it was hard.
Okay.
I just felt bad. Um, Friends, it's like a mixture, like you said. It's
Yeah.
like this. It depends on who it is. Like my mom said, everybody ain't your friend. So
Oh, that part.
yeah. So that's a little bit easier, I feel like, to manage is the friendship thing. But
Right.
family and depending on the business opportunity, I have a hard time.
Yeah, I didn't know that you were like holding out for better opportunities. That's
Well, part of it is I see the bigger picture. You know what I mean? By
okay.
saying yes to this
Yes.
could open up to other things. You
Right.
understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, you could say that sounds calculated. It is. It's strategic.
Very strategic.
Um,
Look at you, a little business sharp.
but with that said, um, yeah, I think in the past, as I reflect over my work history and opportunities, some things I'm just like, why did I say yes to that? Like that was a complete waste of time.
Complete waste of
So,
time.
but I do see you like with your business and the way that you operate. You're just very like, nah,
Mhm.
Mm-mm. No, not doing that.
We pass. We pass.
Or
Um,
you're like, okay. And you're really good about the whole, let's see, or give me more information.
right. I'm willing
Yeah.
to change. My husband always says, I'm willing to be convinced.
Maybe I need
I,
to exercise that.
yeah, I'm not going to just shut you all the way down, but you got to come with the proposal. It's got to make sense. You know what I mean?
So just remaining open, but not fully committing.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah.
I like it. That's strategic too. That's very
Oh,
similar.
yeah.
I need to do that as opposed to saying yes instead of just like, I'm doing this. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's
Jumping in
definitely.
and just doing
Hmm.
it. Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, that's because we're both
Yeah.
manifestors. And what I learned on my human design was um, I have to have certain boundaries in place. Otherwise, my moods are
Ooh.
not good.
Ooh.
I could become very moody. I could become angry because I'm not allowed to move my energy the way it's supposed to be moving. I was like,
Oh,
that is so me. So
that
if something
is
doesn't
you.
align, yeah. So if something doesn't align with me and I don't want to do it, yeah, it's a struggle.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a
I
struggle.
totally agree with you. So, for instance, I don't know if you mind me giving this example. So, you did this
Yes,
amazing
you
photo
can.
shoot. You did this amazing photo shoot where your husband surprised you for your birthday
Yes,
back in
he
December.
did. He's amazing.
And I think your boundaries were being tested. All the way up to the shoot, at
Every
the shoot,
level
at one point your face, and granted, it was so cold in
in the
the
studio.
studio. Yeah, so that don't help. That don't help. So you're already uncomfortable, but you just like, I am not feeling this. Like,
I'm not doing
I'm
this.
ready to go. Did we get the shot?
I was rushing everybody, and everybody was doing everything slow, you guys. It was ridiculous. Like a 2 hour shoot, they literally were keeping me there for 5 hours. My husband was sitting there on his phone. I'm like, why are you not getting dressed? Get in your suit now. You know what I mean?
And
My
I'm like, I'll
hairdresser.
go check on him. How are you
Yeah.
doing?
And then come to find out, MJ's telling him, slow down. So I was like, oh my, all you guys. I mean, it was for a great cause, y'all, but I'm a very non-committal person. I will say that.
No, you're not.
Oh yeah, no, I don't like to. No, hear me out. I don't like to commit to things like months in advance because I honestly don't know how I'm
Mm,
going to feel
mm.
closer to the day.
Right.
It's so bad.
And the awareness of that, I think, is an important boundary,
Yeah,
coming back to boundaries. And I think in order for people to practice boundaries appropriately, this is all, we talk about this every time, but it all goes back to self-awareness and knowing yourself. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, how can you expect people to respect your boundaries and understand you if you don't even understand what you really want? If you haven't actually
yeah,
taken the time to look inside, like, these things might trigger me, or blah, XYZ, or when this happens I feel this way.
yeah,
So, you know I can appreciate, some people get really caught off guard when people are like, when I'm in these type of situations I get like this, so I'm gonna say no. And some people just get really like caught off guard, but
yeah,
I can appreciate that. It's just like, at least you know yourself, and
yeah.
this may cause a
Mhm.
moment of, you're not your best self. If that makes sense,
Not my best self, y'all. But no, I think it's so important. Knowing yourself. Here's the thing,
Hmm.
you guys, setting boundaries is very important, especially in family situations.
Mm.
Um, I know people that their family literally depends on them and they're not taking care of themselves. So they don't set proper boundaries for themselves.
Right.
And, they're doing a lot of things out of obligation, out of guilt. Oh, I'm supposed to. And at the end of the day, no, you're not supposed to do that. That's not how we're supposed to operate. And
Mm-mm.
I wish people would get away from that. I'm learning, definitely learning how to get away from that. And I think I do a good job of really not doing things that are out of my alignment. But I have
Mm.
some friends that I see that I worry about them because I feel like when
Really?
you do that, it's going to cause other issues in your body,
It's
stress,
true.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's almost like a lesson. It's like, okay, you're doing all this for your family, you're not taking care of yourself, so let's make sure you have a complete breakdown. Or we give
Mm.
you something like cancer, where now these people can't lean on you as much.
Mhm.
Now what are they going to do? So now the
Mhm.
boundary's been set for you instead of
Mm.
you actually setting it yourself.
Whew. Damn. Damn. You got me thinking.
Yeah. But
But
I
you're
know you've
absolutely
seen it.
right.
But I know you've
Yeah,
seen it. You probably seen it in your own family,
for sure.
coworkers, they work
Oh.
themselves to sickness. I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to do that. No. Do you
No, and
want to do it?
I definitely have been that person, and I think that that can contribute to burnout. We've talked about that, but
Yeah.
um, by continually um, pushing yourself aside or brushing your anxiety, your concerns, your whatever it may be, because your emotions may not necessarily um I don't want to say that they're not real. They are real, but you actually can control them. And I think part of
Yes.
how to control them is through exercising boundaries is what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely. Yes.
So I think people, well, I want to flip the script though.
Hmm.
Have you ever been in a situation where you feel like someone's exercising a ridiculous boundary? Like, why are you so caught up in that? Or why is it gotta be like this? Or you
Yeah, during
understand what I'm
COVID.
saying?
Yeah, during COVID. All them
Well, share
boundaries was extra, extra. Wear 3 masks,
three.
spray your groceries. Oh, yeah, honey, my interior designer, honey, she would come over here with 2 masks on and a shield.
Oh.
And I'm
Hmm.
gonna tell her to watch this episode because I'm gonna tell her I talked about her. And she's gonna be like, and I talked to her yesterday and she goes, "Oh, I know you over there you're not wearing your mask because they got rid of that mask mandate, but I'm still over here wearing my mask. Thank you." I said, "Do you, Mama Patty? Do
No,
you?"
do you, and if that makes her feel comfortable, it's not hurting anybody else. It's not
No,
affecting
no,
her wearing her own, you know what I
no.
mean? Um,
Yes,
I have
exactly.
I've run into some situations where it's just like, why can't we all just get along? Like, why? I feel like some people have like an all or nothing approach with boundaries. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah,
it's like, okay, that's you. And that's probably
yeah,
kind of how you probably felt with like COVID. It was an all or nothing approach.
yeah.
Some people were exercising. You understand what I mean? So
Mhm.
it's just like, do what's best for you, but don't expect me to necessarily adopt what you need to feel comfortable.
Ooh, yeah. I'm
You,
with you
you,
on
you
that.
know what I mean?
Yes.
So,
Yes. People always want to try to push onto you their belief system because it validates them in a certain way. It makes them
for
feel more
sure.
comfortable. Um, and yeah, I'm definitely not that person. I go
Hmm.
against the grain on a lot of things. I am not here to make you feel comfortable. Sorry. I'm probably going to be here to question you. Why do you believe that? Why do
Right.
you do that? That's me.
Hmm.
But I
Hmm.
totally
Hmm.
agree. I hear you. We got to have a middle ground somewhere.
Have middle ground or agree to disagree.
Yeah, a lot of times you're going to have to agree to disagree because a lot of
Yeah.
times you well, you don't want to change people's mind. You kind of want to
No.
show them a different perspective. But if
Hmm.
that doesn't resonate with them, it's not your job to sit up there and try to change somebody's mind.
No.
So it doesn't affect your energy and you feel like you're hitting your head up against a wall, you could just be like, I agree to disagree. And you keep it moving
Mhm.
for
Mhm.
sure.
No. Absolutely. I agree wholeheartedly. It's just very interesting. I think with COVID, with the with you bringing that up in general,
Mhm.
and with the pandemic and all of that, I feel like a lot of boundaries were tested. Whether your beliefs on, the virus and how to handle it, but so much
Mhm.
happened even in
Yeah.
2020, with Black Lives Matter, with the presidential election, you know what
Oh,
I mean? And with social media, boundaries really, I mean, do they exist or do they not? I mean, you get people who start feeling
yeah.
really comfortable just saying things
No,
because
there
they
are no
can
boundaries.
just, you don't think there's any boundaries on social media?
Nope. I think people say
No.
whatever they want to say, which that's what it's supposed to be,
But is
right?
it
It's supposed to be a platform where you can express yourself and share your belief. And then you're going to have your people who believe what you believe, and you're going to have your people who don't. And hopefully it sparks a conversation,
Oh, it's
you know?
sparked lots of conversations.
But yeah,
We've seen. It sparked movements. Movements.
hopefully nothing, turns into violence and what have you, which I know it has. But no, I don't think there's boundaries. That's why everybody's so worried, you know?
Hmm.
That's why they don't want their kids on there and,
Hmm.
bullying and this and that. And yeah, there's no boundaries on there.
No, there. It is really like free reign, and I think people, in a sense, feel like they can hide behind the screen. I'm going to say how I really feel. It's like the new, remember they used to say, when you drink, that's when the real person shows up or
Oh
whatever.
yeah.
But social media
Mhm.
is like that new thing, is that like,
That
you don't
is
even got to get
so
drunk to
true.
see the
That is
real
so
person.
true. Yes, that is true. Yeah, everybody's just comfortable now. They just say what they want to say. Yes, that is very
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. It's really interesting. And for me, so last night I met with more or less a former client of mine. She was in my coaching programs.
Mhm.
And this is to no offense of her, but I realized I had really lost some boundaries based off of the things that she was asking me about in my life and how open I had been on social media. You know what I mean? With so
Mhm.
much information
Right.
that I didn't guard. And she felt comfortable asking me about these things because I had put it out there,
Yeah.
for consumption by the masses.
Right.
And I have taken a step back from my social media. That's very apparent. And I think I'm in a season of rest right now and just really
Yeah.
internalizing a lot of things because for the past like 4 or 5 years, I've just done so much amplifying out. But it really just kind of, in a sense, triggered. And if she's listening to this isn't by no offense to you by any means. It just really made me think like, wow, like maybe I need to start exercising some different boundaries. I'm in a different place in my life now,
Right.
even with the
Right.
information and the content that I'm creating and putting out there. But on the flip side, and she even brought this to my attention, she was just like, by sharing your journey, by sharing your testimony, by sharing what you've done, really has helped other people, move forward in other ways in their own journey. So it's just like this delicate,
I know. Dance.
yeah, this
I feel
delicate
like it's the same
dance.
way. It's like I don't want everybody in my business, but at the same time, you
Mhm.
have so much to share, and you really want to help people with your story,
Mm.
your journey, your testimony. But then it's like, I don't feel like doing that today. I don't want
Well,
to
it's
see
not even
politics.
that. Some of it is not even that I don't feel like doing it. It's just like I don't necessarily want to have a conversation with everyone about it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah,
Like this isn't
absolutely.
necessarily shouldn't be some things I feel isn't meant for other people to consume at this point. And a few years ago, I would not have said that. I would have said
Right.
everything is content, and everything is capable of being content. But I
Yeah.
feel like we've just really lost. the how do I put it? There's I think it's kind of like the Kardashians. We talk about
Mm.
them a lot on here.
Yes, we do. Mhm.
But I think they continue to have an allure to them. You know, people are still attracted to them because they have started putting up boundaries in terms of what they source out to the world. You know, the way that they
Mhm.
started, in a sense, was we showing everything,
Yes.
all the things we doing season after season after season after season, and then you can kind of see how things evolved, whether it be, you know, their mindsets changed, Kanye entered the mix, whatever it might be. There was a
Mhm.
shift of where they started pulling back. You know,
Right.
you saw Courtney saying, I don't want to be on a season anymore. You know, she started pulling back. There was
Yeah.
always, you know, rumors of Kanye not being really a fan of Kim and being on, but that's how she. How else would he had known who she
That's
was?
yeah, that's how she got her
You know what I
fame.
mean? So
Mhm.
it's just really interesting. I think they've done a really good job in terms of transitioning,
Yeah.
because they don't show a lot still. I mean, Kanye's showing his butt right now. Um,
He's trying to get his
poor
wife
thing.
back. Yeah.
I know, it's really sad. Um,
Yeah.
but I think they've done a really good job at, especially Kylie, the youngest. I think she's probably the master at this. She had a
Right?
whole pregnancy
And she's
and
got the
was
most followers out of all of them and
she's
manages
the
to
richest.
yeah, and just manages to be like, "You know me, but you don't know me." I appreciate
Hmm.
that.
I
Yeah.
respect that.
Yeah.
I
It's like
respect that.
yeah.
And in this day and age with social media, I feel like some people, and I've done this myself, where it's just like you feel like you got to give it all. Like I'm gonna give it everything,
Yeah.
and that works for some people. But I think it's important to, some things need to be sacred in a sense. You know what I mean? Like
Absolutely.
some things need to be special, and everybody ain't got to see everything.
No, they don't. And God, to show everything, that's a lot of work.
Right. And going back to that, you're absolutely right.
Oh
Because
no.
creating content is work.
It is work, y'all. It is not easy. Somebody had posted, she's
No.
like, I just want to put a picture up and call it a day. Like, why do I have to
Right?
do I was like, I can appreciate that. Sometimes you just want to put a
Right.
picture up. Um, no, but I respect Kylie too, and the fact that she's so young. Hopefully,
Hmm.
other young people will follow suit and
Right.
be like, well, if Kylie's not all putting it out there, I don't need to put it all out there. So hopefully,
Right.
she can start that trend.
But then you got the flip side. You've got Cardi B. Cardi's all out there.
Mm,
You know what I mean? It's almost
yeah,
like part of her brand. And it works. It's worked for her. You know what
yeah.
I mean? Just being unfiltered, unregulated, full on Cardi B, you know? So I don't
I
know.
think there's going to be at some point where she's going to be like, I'm done.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
riding that wave right now,
Hmm.
and she's still
She's been doing
young.
it for a minute. She's even back. I mean, I used to watch her when I used to watch Love and Hip Hop. She
Yeah, I watched her
was,
on there.
yeah, she's so funny.
She's
Um,
yes.
she's been doing this for a minute, so I commend her. But she still shows up and does her Instagram lives. You know what I mean? And it's not curated. It's Cardi with her bonnet on. You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
so, I mean, and then I wonder, does she exercise? I wonder where is the boundary for her if she is exercising them. When you see something like that, so
yeah,
raw,
there is no boundary. It sounds like
right?
it's like here I
Right.
am. This is me. Hey, to each his
I
own.
mean,
I want to know
I
what her
love.
human. I want to know what her human design is.
Me too. Me too. She might be a generator because they just keep going. They go, 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 go,
So
go,
that's
go,
it.
go. Whereas us manifestors, we go, and it's like, and then we retreat, and
Yep.
we reemerge on our own accord. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So. We are
But
not meant to just go, 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 go.
we can't. We can't do
Mm-mm.
it. We just wouldn't even, our energy wouldn't even flow right if we did that.
Now I want to know what Cardi is. She's probably a generator.
Probably if she's going like
Mm,
that,
mm-hmm,
you know?
mm-hmm. Maybe, maybe.
So,
But yeah, bringing it back to boundaries, I think it's important to have them. I think it's important to exercise them. In this day and age with social media, I think it could be hard
oh, yeah.
to have them. Because even bringing it back to family, you got people like, I seen you online. You can't answer my text.
Girl. Oh my goodness. You're like, oh,
You just posted a picture.
they're online and they ain't calling me back. What?
There,
I'm
see, the
like,
boundaries are gone.
I'm glad I could be like, no, I wasn't. Okay, thank you do that for me. Thank you.
Right. Yeah. No, I had to
But
tell
no,
people, I'm like, I schedule stuff. Like, just because you see me online don't mean I'm online.
exactly.
Like,
Everything gets scheduled out. It's all planned out. So,
yeah.
but yeah, it is hard to set boundaries, you guys, nowadays. But please make it a point to set some boundaries.
Mm.
Start off slow.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Just maybe one or two, and then
Well,
build up to it.
I think it all we talk about this every time, but it starts with the self. It starts within and really
Yeah.
being clear on what may trigger you and what you need so that you find that peace or that safe space in certain instances that might
Yeah.
trigger or, cause anxiety. And then
Mhm.
I think the next part is you got to exercise them. It's not you set a boundary and that's it. You have to
Oh, yeah, no.
practice.
No, let's not make a list of boundaries and you're like, "There's my list." No, you definitely have to implement them into your life,
Hmm.
and use them accordingly. That's funny. I'm sure there's people out there who have them on a board too,
Hmm.
and it never manifested themselves.
That's not enough. It's like the vision board thing, like we talked about.
Yeah.
Like you can't just throw it up there. You got to be willing to do the work. And it's
Yeah.
no different. It's no different with boundaries. I mean, I think in order for boundaries to work, you have to exercise them, and you can't expect others to do that for you. You really need to
No.
do it for yourself.
Yeah. You can't hope that person's going to not expect what they want from you or that group
Hmm.
or that job. And then you're like, if they would only just do it this way, then I wouldn't have to do this. No, no. It's all
No.
you. It's all you.
The only other thing I would say is when you do switch it up, say you are making a shift with your boundary and it affects a relationship. Typically, that's where you're going to run into an issue.
Hmm.
Would you suggest people be patient? With those they switch it up with, or should it be expected that this is my boundary and you just need to follow?
I honestly think it should be this is my boundary you need to follow. I think because if you're,
Really?
yeah, because if not, people take advantage. And it's not like they mean to. You know what I mean? There are people out there
Mm,
who mean to take advantage. Let me retract that statement.
yeah,
But for the
yeah,
majority, we don't. We're not trying to take advantage of people, but we want what we want, right?
yeah.
We're not setting those we're not allowing those people to have those boundaries because we want those people in our life. We want to spend time, we want that energy, whatever the case may be. So sometimes
Mm,
it has to be a hard boundary.
mm,
I think
mm,
especially with family because
mm.
they'll push. And then they
Yeah.
have your hot buttons and they know how to trigger you and they know how to make you feel bad. They know how to do these little things. You're like, here we go again.
And then basically you're now back at square
Yeah.
zero. I can't think of the saying right
Square,
now, but you're
square
just
one.
square one since there's zero. You went even backwards, but yeah, you're at square one.
Yeah. So
So,
it's like sometimes gotta be a hard no. No, thank you. Not today. Taking time for myself. Don't want to go to the family barbecue because y'all have a certain
mm,
mindset. I don't feel like dealing with that.
mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah, yeah. I
remember
think
what we
that's
said, you
important.
guys. When you start doing the internal work, start doing the work, there's going to be times where
Mm,
you're going to feel alone
mm,
because you are setting boundaries and you're changing, you know?
mm. That's very true. People will not understand. And
Mm-mm.
exercising those boundaries is part of that shift. It really
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
It really, really is. Hmm. Well, this has been good for me. Like I said, I feel like you're definitely a little bit better with boundaries than I am. So I'm gonna have
Well,
to
glad.
practice a little bit
Glad I can
more.
help. Mm-hmm.
Well, if you guys have enjoyed this episode or any episode of ours, please, please, please leave us a review. We
Yes.
really appreciate it. And rate the podcast as well. We love that. But thank you so much for
Mhm.
listening as always. And we'll catch you
Thank
guys next
you.
time.
Bye.